Thanks for joining me here today. I'm Cordelia, and today we're going to be talking about my blepharoplasty eye surgery. Just a quick note before we jump in, I'm not a medical doctor, this is not medical advice, and I'm not advocating that anyone with hooded eyes needs to have this surgery. Having surgery or not is a very personal decision that you should spend a lot of time and think about whether or not you want to do it, but I am sharing my experience with it. As most of you know, I had hooded eyes my entire life until this past December. If you're wondering what hooded eyes are, I have an awesome video I'm going to link up here for you to go check out. It's called Do I Have Hooded Eyes? And over 50 members of the Fear Hex Squad on Facebook were kind enough to submit pictures of their eyes to show you a wide variety of hooded eyes on women of all ages. So if you are curious if you have hooded eyes and are trying to figure this out, definitely give that video a watch. It will be very helpful. All right, so here's what my eyes used to look like. I noticed at 42 that the hood at the outer part of my eye seemed to be weighing down my eyelids and causing my lashes to point downwards from the weight of the excess skin, and this really bothered me on a daily basis for years. So I started saving money to have an eye surgery to remove my excess skin. So the blepharoplasty surgery, which is what I said, it's a surgery that is designed to remove excess skin, usually from the upper eyelids, sometimes from the lower eyelids, but I primarily just had problems with my upper eyelids. My lower eyelids are fine, so I just had skin removed from the upper eyelids. This surgery typically costs between like $4,500 and $7,000 here in the US. I paid around $5,500 for mine out of pocket cash, not covered by insurance. So in around December 20th is when I had my surgery, December 20th, 2023. So it's been about 6 months that I've had to heal, which is good. So I highly recommend that if you are considering getting blepharoplasty surgery, that you research the plastic surgeon, look at plenty of examples of their work, and see if there's any like reviews on their work, what people think of them. The way I actually found my eye doctor was by word of mouth. One of my friends who's also a doctor said that she felt this woman did the most amazing eye lift surgeries. They gave the most natural results and you could still blink. You didn't have any complications, and that's a very key point. Many times, not many times, but this surgery can be botched pretty badly. And when it is botched, people have problems with like closing their eyes and dry eye and just discomfort. So I didn't want to do that. And so that's why I ended up going to the doctor that I did. I do recommend that when you're going in for any sort of plastic surgery, take photos with you. I made the mistake that I went to go see the eye plastic surgeon that I did not bring a photo of what I looked like with eyelid tape on. So here's a photo of what I look like with eyelid tape versus non-eyelid tape, because I did assume incorrectly that the results I would get would look like what I looked like with eyelid tape, and I did not share those with her. So when I expressed to her that I wanted all of my excess skin removed so I would have, you know, I would be comfortable and not have that weighing down, she's like, yeah, we can do that, no problem. I also recommend that if you're wanting to get this done and you are concerned about cost containment, that you consider looking at teaching hospitals, because that is where I went for mine. A teaching hospital, you're already gonna have a doctor who's already had, like, I think their residency done, and now they are specializing in plastic surgery. So here's what I look like at the hospital before my surgery, after she's already drawn on me where she's gonna cut in the purple. And you can see just how much skin she is removing from my eye area all the way down. I've said before, many times before, that my hooded eyes, like my hoods went down below my lower waterline, because they did. So we removed all of that excess skin. All right, so here's what I look like right after the surgery. You can see that on my mobile lids, they're extremely swollen and they look like they're gonna pop off. I did notice a little bit of eyelash loss too. I was not allowed to touch or remove any of the blood tears on my face, and that really did drive me a little crazy. And have I mentioned that I bruise easily? You can check out my crescent moon bruise from the IV in my hand right over here. Like, I cannot believe how badly that bruised. All right, here's day 5. You can see that almost all of the scabs have come off except for the one by the corner of my eye, that little blood tear. Made me look very metal for Christmas. Here is 1 week out, December 30th. There's January 2nd, about 2 weeks out. This is January 29th, about 1 month out. There's March 4th. So one of the things that I did notice during this whole healing process on my eyes is that my right eye healed much faster than my left eye. My theory for this is that I have better vascularity on my right side than my left side, so I really do need to continue to work out and increase my vascularity. This is me today, 6 months post-op, or almost 6 months post-op. I'll be honest, I wasn't really happy with my results initially. I felt like she didn't remove enough skin, especially compared to what I look like when I wear eyelid tape. Another problem that I ran into that I didn't anticipate was that her staff made me feel very uncomfortable. The way they talked to me, I perceived them to be as acting like mean girls. And the doctor herself also kind of made me feel a little uncomfortable, but I think it's just a personality clash. one of the when I was talking with one of the nurses before I saw the doctor, I had made a comment on, oh, I'm sure I look awful today because I was having a flare up with my skin, a rosacea flare up. And she's like, oh, well, you must think I look terrible because I've had all of the skin problems. And I was like, I wasn't talking about your skin, wasn't looking at your skin, wasn't judging at all, was just talking about my own. that was weird. So that's also something to consider, is how you interact with your staff. My experience with my eye plastic surgeon versus my breast plastic surgeon and her staff had been completely different, because her staff is very warm and friendly, completely different. Now, even though I wasn't happy initially, I am happy now. Every doctor that I have seen this year, and I have seen a ton for all of my health issues and everything going on, have told me what a beautiful job that they wouldn't have known. I had my eyes done, if I hadn't specifically said, or they hadn't seen it in my chart that I had that surgery. So that made me feel pretty good about it. Because I didn't properly manage my expectations before my surgery, I think that's what led to me being upset and not feeling like I got as good of results as initially as I wanted. But really, I think I just needed to be patient. I kept trying to be patient and being like, oh, it'll eventually get better, the swelling's gonna go away and I'll see more. And then I didn't really feel like I saw as much lid space as I was going to. But once I had time to play with makeup on my face some, let Mickey play with makeup on my face some, I started feeling a lot better about it, and I feel more comfortable with it. I think after you have a surgery like this, it can take you a while to get to where you feel comfortable in your own skin again. I had no complications from this surgery. Oh, somebody had asked me how painful this is. Out of all of the surgeries that I've had, this is the least painful. And just so I can give you a little frame of reference, the most painful surgery that I had was the one in January, which was the breast reconstruction with fat grafting, because fat grafting involves liposuction, which I didn't know. I should have known, but I'd never looked up any details on exactly how it works, other than watching it on Nip Tuck once or twice. So I wasn't expecting just how painful that would be to heal. That one was definitely the most painful to heal from. The liposuctions with fat grafting, that was freaking awful. Even the double mastectomy was not as painful as that. Let's see. I had PRK vision correction surgery. That was more painful. The emergency surgery I had in 2010 to cut necrotic flesh out of my leg from a spider bite, that was also more painful. But yeah, this one was not. And I think it's just because the cuts in the skin are, I don't know, maybe an inch or an inch and a half on each eye. So it's a very minimal amount. And it was sewing 2 pieces of healthy skin together, because basically they do really detach your mobile eyelids, remove all that skin, and then hook it up together. So there's a point in time when your eyelids are not on your eyes, and you can kind of see through the crack, and it's a little weird. One thing I will say, I have been using silicone scar cream to minimize the appearance of my scars, and I recommend doing that if you have scars or you're going to do something like this, because I personally like to minimize the appearance of my scars. Not that scars are bad, scars can be cool, but when it's on my eyes, I didn't want it to be crazy looking. So silicone scar cream is a very good thing to use to help minimize and soften scars. So yeah, I have no regrets about getting my blepharoplasty, or upper eyelid surgery. If I were to do it over, what I would do differently is I would bring pictures in of me and eyelid tape. I still would have chosen probably the same doctor, even though I had negative experiences with her staff. I would have probably just tried to figure out a different way to interact with them, or to minimize my interactions with them. But overall, I'm happy with it. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. Again, not a doctor, not telling you that you need plastic surgery, not telling you that if you have hooded eyes, you need to have eye surgery. Please don't get this twisted. I'm just telling you this is something I did for me that I'd wanted to do since I was 42. So I saved money for 3 years and was able to do it. Thanks for joining me for this video. I hope that you're having a beautiful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.